And now we're gonna find out what or who influences the substitution of your memories and why your memory malfunctions. Pow, it's Maxell from Cabal. What does the dollar sign look like? Like this? No, you just watched enough of the DuckTales cartoon as a child. The dollar sign looks like this. The Mandela Effect. No, you just watched enough of the DuckTales cartoon.
It's an urban legend that never happened.
Yeah, let's not start our story with this information. This yarn's been around for many years. It doesn't matter with one line or two. It'd be right either way. And you know why? Because there is no consensus in the world what the dollar sign should look like and how many stripes it should have. So it goes. Today we'll have a very unusual video. Firstly, because this thing is not on Wikipedia, and secondly, it blew up not in the US, but worldwide. Yet in the US, the Mandela Effect is as well very relevant.
And this is known as the Mandela Effect.
My mind has been blown. Like, I feel like I'm in a Mandela Effect.
We have a very serious problem here, and I don't even know where to begin. You ever hear the Mandela Effect?
But we're here to find out the truth. Let's go. The Mandela Effect is the name of the coincidence of memories in a huge number of people, which in their opinion contradicted generally accepted history. This applies to the geographic location of some countries, brand names, and even the location of organs in the body. Many believe that scientists discovered something bizarre and anomalous, which is now completely classified. Or it's glitches in the matrix. Nelson Mandela is South Africa's first black president, and he died on December 5th in 2013. And the following information shouldn't concern my viewers in any way, because it's unlikely that you even know who Nelson Mandela is, much less when he died. I'm not saying that you're dumb. What I'm trying to say is that very few people in the United States have been interested in this information at all. Why is this effect name-called? Because it's a name-calling. Jokes aside, TikTokers. Immediately after his death, newspapers with loud headlines appear. Well, a newspaper comes out, and what you think? People didn't get it at all. They were completely sure that he had died in prison in the 80s. Nah, it's not about a few people, but about tens and hundreds of thousands. People really were sure that someone had given them false information. So what's the actual meaning of the effect? The fact that people absolutely remember exactly their version of anything, but that is categorically different from reality.
I don't believe you.
I'll give you the most common examples. You'll remember the Berenstain Bears. Bears and Bears, what's up with that? It's been the Berenstain Bears the whole time.
The Berenstain Bears.
The Ford logo. Well, a logo like a logo. What more can you add? It's always been like that. But actually, it's always been like that. And a lot of people claim that this freaking curl was never there whatsoever. The Volkswagen logo. Just the Volkswagen logo. It's always been like that. But no. Here's the real Volkswagen logo. And it has always been like that. But what's up with the Monopoly man? We've seen him like so many times. A business suit, a monocle. It's just that he's never had a monocle.
No! No!
Oh, and this one you will like especially. Everybody remembers the moment in Star Wars where Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father." Memes, print some t-shirts and a lot of stuff like that. The only problem is, it turns out Darth Vader never said that.
He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
What the fuck? No. No, no. No. No, he says, Luke, I am your father, okay? I've seen this movie 500-600 times, okay? He says, Luke, I am your father. What the hell's going on? It's Mandela Effect. Wake the fuck up.
No, I am your father. I wouldn't wear a t-shirt like that. On second thought, for arguments on the internet, it's pretty suitable though. Why does it happen? Why so many people remember things not as they really are? Well, there are several versions. Here, opinions differ greatly. Some scientists are inclined to believe that we live in a simulation, in the Matrix. Who's the creator? Well, for example, we ourselves. Our future selves. It captures one's imagination. Our world might be some schoolboy's computer project. And when the simulation itself ends, for instance, yeah, in 2012 there was the end of the world and we all died, but our digital consciousness had been transferred to another project. However, it wasn't installed completely correctly. Because of that, there are some differences in this world. Glitches in the Matrix. Minor.
What is the Matrix? The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
The second version, quantum immortality. If you happen to die, the universe is divided into two and more. In one you actually die, and in the other you survive for some reason and continue to think. Because it's impossible not to think. And in a universe where you're alive, there is again a slight difference. Quantum immortality follows from quantum physics, and it's all worth of a separate video, so wait. CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, the world's largest center for scientific research, which is located on the border of France and Switzerland. Scientists trying to generate a custom black hole have discovered a portal to alternative universes. But it's all very unstable, so we're experiencing constant failures in our own universe. This theory has gained traction on TikTok, which casts doubts on its plausibility in the first place. Just recently on TikTok, someone, allegedly a CERN worker, with the nickname CERN Open and Parallel Demand, posted their first video and it got 6 million views and 600,000 likes. CERN is changing the weather around the planet. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to get fired, so I'll post it on the internet. TikTok seems to be a good choice. So, usual footage, which they themselves post a lot on their Twitter, with a sentence edited on, is now considered proof on the internet? And what so top secret did he show? Large pipes? No one hides them in the first place. These pipes are used to accelerate the smallest particles, atoms and molecules, and then push them together. It's just physics experiments to get better understanding of the atom and its components. How is this supposed to change damn weather or a brand logo? What's more, such collisions constantly occur in our atmosphere. CERN is working on studying the smallest particles. Not to change a letter in your book for the youngest ones. At the very least, because this Hadron Collider was built in 2008, and the evidence of the Mandela Effect was found long before this date. The same Star Wars Episode 5 was released in 1980. How will you explain the Mandela Effect now? With the Mandela Effect? But the news website that posted CERN researchers apologize for destruction of 5 parallel universes is just fake news.
You are fake news.
It's literally fake news, satirical news not to be taken seriously. And the fourth variant, false memories. It is the variant we will consider in more detail. There is of course one more version. This is just worldwide conspiracy. Someone is replacing our memories. Only one question. How do the supporters of this version imagine it? Lady, it's alright. You've never seen us. New Zealand is now on the other side of Australia. The 4 logo was always without a hook. And Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 80s. False memories.
Is it me, or have you forgotten to mention Volkswagen?
We all fantasized a lot as kids, invented dialogues and situations, and then we're sitting there and thinking, was the situation in reality or only in our head? Moreover, in dreams, we don't understand at all whether this is reality or not, do we? The line between the real and fictional might at some point simply disappear. You'll begin to remember something that didn't actually exist. Our memory is not a very reliable storage that can let you down at any moment, let alone such trifle as a curl on a logo. It's said that the Mandela Effect was discovered by paranormal researchers in 2009 or by psychologists in 2013. Or by someone else. In fact, No psychologist discovered it. It was just called this way on the internet. And to be completely precise, a similar thing was discovered back in 1866 by Carl Ludwig Kahlbaum. It's called confabulation. They're false memories, modified or completely fictitious. As a rule, that's a symptom of mental illnesses, brain diseases, and so on. But they can be found in everyday life too. There are a lot of classifications, but some I particularly liked. Fantastical. This is when you firmly believe, for example, that you were abducted by aliens. Delusional. Arise in connection with delusional ideas. Most likely, such a mental disorder affects those YouTubers who make 3 bland videos a day with just insane clickbait headlines. The end of the world, every other day. Elon Musk says CERN's Large Hadron Collider is demonic technology. In a Twitter freaking meme imposed, rise from prompts with leading questions and so on. And this is especially interesting. Do you know what the back of the knee is called? No. It's called a Baimer. B-A-M-E-R. A Baimer. Remember it. This is absolutely not true. I have no idea what a Baimer is. But your brain has absorbed some new information. And if you're stupid, you'll bring it to the masses. And the expansive, the coolest ones, they're associated with megalomania. It's when a person is sure that they're blue-blooded, that they're the richest, smartest, the most beautiful and inventive. Of course they're not like that, but it won't work to convince them otherwise. And I'm pretty sure you have such a friend. If not, then your friends definitely have one. Why did we remember it wrong? Because we didn't give a shit where it was and what it looked like. It's just what it is. We simply remembered. It's that we only think that we remember exactly with all the details. In fact, we saw the way we saw, heard the way we were told, and that's it. No conspiracy, no matrix, nothing of the sort.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah.
The brain is able to filter out the necessary information from the unnecessary and then delete the unnecessary. Do you really need to know where New Zealand is? Do you live there? Or do you think that the people who live in New Zealand don't know or have suddenly forgotten where they live? Like, do you live here or do you live there? I'm so stupid, I've forgotten. It's just not possible whatsoever. What's more, even our native human heart fell under the Mandela Effect. Everyone thinks that the heart is here, and then people be like, heck knows. Where is it? Do you really think that a surgeon who's been performing operations all his life can forget where the heart is? Wait, which side should the heart be on? I've forgotten. It always seemed to me that on this one. Mandela Effect, Mandela Effect. Finally, we got the Mandela Effect. What is this, a table knife? And a CEO, Ford, be like, what the? Is it that we always had such a logo?
Of course, Chief. Are you stoned again?
Yes. Or even better, Nelson Mandela's daughter wakes up in the morning, goes to the kitchen to make coffee, and there's her dad there, alive. Holy shit, what a twist. She too thought that he cooked in the 80s.
The whole topic's been relevant for so many years and still is.
Almost every YouTuber and TikToker has made a video about it.
And everywhere there's complete garbage.
This video has almost 11 million views and this guy just gives absolute baloney to his subscribers.
Like me, but complete bullshit.
Another very popular Mandela Effect is Sex in the City. So everybody that I know remembers the show being called Sex in the City. And then you realize, no, it's been Sex and the City the whole time.
Alright, you want proof of the Mandela Effect? Sex in the City.
What the hell are you talking about? He claims in all seriousness that Sex in the City has been written like this, and not like this. And even cites a perfumery as an example, which has freaking nothing to do with the series at all. Back then, when I first saw this series and its logo on TV as a child, I thought to myself, what the heck? Why Sex and the City and not Sex in a City? Which would make more sense. I noticed it back then, a long time ago. And he also seriously claims that he's written comments that he's just inattentive schmuck. It's just that the Secret Service is covering their tracks. Secret Services with comments. How the Mandela Effect affected me personally, and most likely you. Here's the emoji of a rubber. We remember him exactly like this. Only Unicode, an international encoding standard, is designed in such a way that we can say with absolute certainty that it never existed. But it was there. I would even send it to someone from my iPhone. I'm sure. Or I just think I'm sure. The thing is, our brain just thinks up the image. The emojis are all styled the same way, and we all know the money bag emoji. It's logical that there should be this one as well. Well, or we saw something similar on other resources, but didn't pay attention to it. Just like with the Monopoly Man, as I said, it only seems to us that we remember exactly, with all the details. Actually, we have it only vaguely. And as we didn't remember exactly, trying to recall, our brain just thinks up the image. A rich old man in a top hat, a business suit, and accordingly a monocle, which is a frequent attribute of characters of this type. No mystery, which cannot be said unfortunately about Ford. With Ford, the situation is more complicated. This person with an original nickname. Now what? Every conspiracy theorist has such a nickname. They show a photo where there really is no curl. It's not photoshopped and not a one-time thing. For logos without the curl really do exist. It's unbelievable, but really, it's not. In the very beginning, Ford really didn't have a curl in its logo. Or maybe quite a long time ago, somewhere, Ford factories had a malfunction, and the logo was really produced without a curl when it should have had it. By the time they had noticed it, the cars were already out. It's a different story with Volkswagen though, where the split was there, and at the same time it wasn't. There, between the letters, was a recessed line separating these two letters. Only almost the same silver color as the letters themselves. You walk away from the car a little, and it seems to you that the letters are merged together. And when you come closer, or even better, run your hand over the surface, it's immediately clear that the letters are separated by a narrow dented strip. It's just in the following years, this line began to be recolored, and the people who hadn't known it started to see the separation more clearly. That's all. The so-called Mandela Effect happened to Darth Vader because there are several versions of voice acting and dubbing, so everyone remembers differently. For example, in director's cut, it really does have Luke, I'm your father.
He told me you killed him. Luke, I am your father.
As for the Berenstain, or Berenstein Bears, for many people the proof of the alternative world is a couple of wrong labels and some VHS cassettes. Someone tell them about printing typos. It was more than 20 years ago. Back then, it wasn't so easy. Computers were completely different, not like now just press backspace. Speaking of backspace, now it's very easy to print a wrong label on purpose and then sell it at exorbitant prices on some eBay or elsewhere, being proof of the Mandela Effect. After all, if this typo was somewhere else, no one would give a shit. But here got alternative universes. And it's all because one is a very common suffix for surnames, whereas the other isn't. No wonder the wrong version had taken root in. And the icing on the Mandela Effect's cake, Mandela himself. He could have easily been confused with another activist from the same place, Steve Biko, who died in 1977 while imprisoned. Mandela died in 2013, and this is what Bush said in 2007.
Mandela's dead because Saddam Hussein killed all the Mandelas.
It's easy to guess now why so many people thought Mandela was dead. Bush used it as a metaphor.
Shit.
The Mandela Effect is nothing but inattention. Guess why? There are a lot of inattentive people around. Only those who still believe in a flat earth can believe in such a conspiracy. I strongly do not recommend watching other videos on the topic. Otherwise, you will soon find yourself making tinfoil hats. And how boringly we'll live if even glitches in our matrix are so minor.
Yo man, no freaking way dude. You will go nuts. What's up, man? Nah, you will go nuts. You know what? In the computer science homework, I forgot to put one single period.
Really?
Me too! Can you imagine? Everything has changed. All the limitations of physics have been removed. My residents can now fly. Speed, action, intergalactic alien chases.
Oh, you got something similar?
Yes!
Close. A curl on the logo, the Baron, whatever. Or they're all right, and have been just recruited by the secret services, offered a huge salary and a high position. I want to believe this is true, but it's kind of hard to. Give likes if you still remember how to do it,